Wouldn't it be Ryan the Great? And today we are talking about the Luka Doncic trade in the MLB. Honestly, I'm not saying that Rafael Devers is on the level of Luka Doncic, but at the same time, this trade is kind of similar, and that honestly, you'll understand a little bit more once we get into the video. But yeah, Rafael Devers has been traded to the San Francisco Giants. Now, obviously, I've not talked a lot of baseball over the past couple of months, honestly, and we've been talking about a lot on the CR7 podcast. So make sure you guys go listen to that if you want to hear some baseball updates. But this is a very, very interesting move that we have that really has to be discussed here because this is very fishy, honestly. So everybody's hands are not clean in this. Something happened. I feel like there's something that happened that we don't know about. But yeah, we're going to get into it. We're going to break down the trade, what this means for the Red Sox, what this means for the Giants. And yeah, so let's just get right into the video. But before we get right into it, guys, make sure you subscribe with your post notifications on. Go subscribe to my brother, Liam the Great Blogs. Make sure you go subscribe to my second channel at Ryan the Combat Great. Make sure you guys go follow me on X or RTG. Make sure you guys go follow me on TikTok at Ryan the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go listen to the latest edition of the CR7 podcast. This is going to be moved to WSJP's YouTube, by the way, for the rest of the summer. And make sure you guys go follow me on Twitch at Ryan the Great Podcast. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into the video. So starting things off with the actual trade, San Francisco Giants, which is according to Jeff Passan of ESPN, the San Francisco Giants are acquiring all-star slugger Rafael Devers from the Boston Red Sox, sources confirmed to ESPN. And out of nowhere, blockbuster deal, Boston is getting right-handed pitcher Jordan Hicks and more. First on the news was by Robert Murray. And then Boston's return for Rafael Devers includes left-handed starter Kyle Harrison, right-hander Jordan Hicks, outfield prospect James Tibbs, and another prospect, sources tell ESPN, which I believe James Tibbs, and then the other prospect, it was Jose Bello. And yes, sources tell ESPN the Red Sox will not send any money to cover the remaining of the $250 million plus on Devers' contract. I would sure hope not, based off of this terrible haul that they got back. And we're going to get into that right now. What does this mean for the Boston Red Sox? Well, something is wrong here. Why would you trade Rafael Devers? The Red Sox are one of the hottest teams in baseball at the current moment in time. You see it on the other bullet point that I have. You just swept the New York Yankees. You are coming off a few series wins. I believe 3 out of the last 4 series you have won. That including it was the New York Yankees, the Tampa Bay Rays. You swept. You won 5. What is it? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5 straight games against the Tampa Bay Rays. You've won 1, 2, 3. And then you lost your last series to the Angels. So you've won 3 out of your last 4 series, 4 out of your last 5. If that's to make it sound a bit better. And then all of a sudden you're trading your best player, the only player left from that 2018 championship team. So it doesn't really make that much sense to me. And then obviously when you look at Devers' May stats, a .356 average with 37 hits, 7 home runs, 33 RBIs, 14 runs scored, and an OPS of 1.074. I mean, that is an incredible OPS. Now, obviously, in the month of June, he's taken a bit, I guess you could say, but not a fall off, but it's definitely been down, a 202 average in the month of June. So obviously not the greatest, but he does have time to bring it up. Now, I don't know if it will, based off the fact this will be his first couple of weeks with the Giants. He's got to get accustomed to everything that's in San Francisco. It's not just playing the game of baseball, but just in life in general. So, I don't think that he will, really bring that up to what it was in May. But yeah, like Devers was raking, and then all of a sudden you just trade him out of nowhere when you're at one of your hottest points. And the reason I have my last bullet point here is that you're betting on Bregman staying is that, you sign Alex Bregman. Okay, let's go back here. Craig Breslow, the manager, president of operations, whatever his title is, he signed Alex Bregman to play third base, but he didn't tell Rafael Devers that he wanted to play first base or third base. And then in an interview, Rafael Devers says, well, I don't want to DH. I want to play third. Now, in a baseball perspective, it makes sense to sign Alex Bregman to play third base and replace Devers because Devers is one of the worst defensive third basemen in baseball. Now, obviously, hitting wise, look at the stats over the last however many years he's been in the league. He's been incredible. But defense-wise, he's one of the worst in the MLB. He's not a Gold Glover, which is Alex Bregman is. Now, obviously, Bregman's injured, and in hindsight, Bregman got hurt and all that, but Craig Breslow never told Rafael Devers that he was replacing you. Now, you should tell your starting third baseman, an all-star, that hey, we're bringing in somebody, you know, to play third base. We want you to DH. And when Bregman was signed, nobody knew. Well, was he going to play second base? Was he going to play third base? Nobody knew. And then all of a sudden, they just expected Devers to suck it up. Now, if your boss comes to you and says, we want this to happen, you're going to do this, then you got to do it. It's your boss, for God's sakes. Now, I understand in the era of player empowerment, it's not really like that anymore. But if your boss, if your boss comes to you in an office job and says you got to do something, you got to do it. It's not, obviously there's different circumstances on an MLB level. And the amount of money that these guys are getting paid, but still, the fact remains: if your boss comes to you and tells you got to do something, then you sure as hell got to do it. So, Devers' hands are not clean in this either. But Craig Breslow was stupid for lying to Rafael Devers. I wouldn't say lying, but definitely not telling the full truth in saying, his whole plan was to bring Bregman on to play third base and didn't tell Devers that. So, honestly, nobody's hands are clean in this. But just trading Rafael Devers is honestly ridiculous. I mean, it seems like Craig Breslow had something to do with this. I think it probably was a personal thing, but there could be something that went on that we don't know about, because it just doesn't make any sense, especially for the haul that you got back. You got Kyle Harrison, who this season has a one-on-one record with a 4.56 ERA. At 25 strikeouts and a 1.27 whip. I mean, I understand he's only 23 years old, but he's not the greatest pitching prospect. And then you got Jordan Hicks, a starter turn reliever, has a 1-5 record this year, a 6.47 ERA with 43 strikeouts and a 1.54 whip. And he's also on the IL at the current moment in time. He's got a toe injury. And then these other prospects, from what I've heard, they're not that great. I don't really look at the farm system that much in the MLB. I'm not going to lie, but apparently these guys, James Tibbs and Jose Bello, are really nothing special. So the haul you got back for your best player is honestly ridiculous. And the reason my last bullet point here says that you're betting on Alex Bregman staying is that he has a 3-year, $120 million contract, but there are opt-outs in all 3 years in that contract. So he can opt out of his contract, go sign with another team, and the Red Sox are going to have to match it no matter what it is. Because if you're Craig Breslow here, you're pretty much saying that I choose Alex Bregman over Rafael Devers, so you're going to have to match an offer saying that Bregman decides to opt out and tries to sign with a new team. So you're going to have to match that offer, whatever it is, or you're probably going to end up losing your job, because then you're going to lose Bregman and Rafael Devers. Not even to say that Alex Bregman's out of the lineup at the current moment in time. So, it just doesn't really make that much sense why you would trade Rafael Devers. As I said, we're not being told the full story here. I think something is going on. That's why I compare it to the Luka Doncic trade, because it just doesn't make sense. Why would you trade your best player away and part of your future and the majority of your future away for pennies on the dollar? Like, in this case, it was pennies on the dollar. Like with the Doncic trade, that was probably quarters on the dollar based off the fact you got Anthony Davis back. But this just doesn't make any sense, this trade. I mean, this is a terrible haul for, your best player. It just doesn't make much sense to me. And as I said, we're not being told the full story here, because this would have never happened. But anyway, moving on to the San Francisco Giants. I mean, this is a steal for the San Francisco Giants. Hitting has been one of your biggest issues this year. Your starting pitching rotation has been dominating over the course of the season. And lots of games have been blown because your offense can't get going. That all changes here. Now, as I said, Devers is not having the best month of June, a 202 average in the month of June. So, but once again, I don't expect him in the next 2 weeks to bring that back up. But I do expect, maybe by the end of the All-Star break, or, a little bit before, where Devers can get himself going. Because as I mentioned, you got to get accustomed to the new city and where you're going to live and blah, 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 blah. So, that's all there. So I think that it should be fine. I think that he should be okay. And yeah, that gets fixed here. The offense, I mean, as I said, the stats of Devers in the month of May were incredible. It's obvious he can still hit the baseball. The Giants are definitely showing that, they're good in acquiring superstars. and they did so here. I mean, they fleeced the Boston Red Sox. Apparently, Devers was only dealt with. They only shopped Devers around to the San Francisco Giants. They didn't shop him around to anybody else. So it doesn't. That also doesn't make much sense to me there. But yeah, after losing out on Aaron Judge, you get another player. Not as big of a name, but definitely, obviously, an incredible player in Rafael Devers. And you're only one game out to the Los Angeles Dodgers at the time of this video, which is Monday, June 16th. This will be out by Wednesday. Now, I know you guys are probably tired of hearing about this trade, but obviously, I have to spread the content out a little bit. But anyway, you're only one game out of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, obviously, with Shohei Ohtani coming back and pitching, depending on how he does, we'll already know by the time this video is out. But I mean, it can't be a negative for Ohtani to come back. So you might not win the division, but still, you're close. You're closer than what people would anticipate. So I think if you're the San Francisco Giants, this is like an A+ trade. Honestly, if I had to grade it, because of the fact that you literally didn't really give up anything. I mean, I know one of the players. These outfield prospects are either like hit or miss, but even if you hit on them, they're not going to be incredible players, which is what Rafael Devers is. So, I mean, once again, if I would give the San Francisco Giants like an A+ on this trade. This was incredible. If I was the Red Sox, I mean, I don't, I don't know what the hell you're doing. I'd give it like a D, honestly. That's how bad this trade looks for them. But anyway, it is what it is. It doesn't affect the Phillies in any way, so I guess I could care less. But yeah, once again, great trade for the Giants. Not so great for the Boston Red Sox. And that'll do it for this video, guys. Make sure to subscribe with the post notifications on. Go subscribe to my brother in the Great Vlogs. Make sure to go subscribe to my second channel at Run the Combat Great. Make sure you guys go follow me on X Run the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go follow me on TikTok at Run the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go listen to the latest edition of the CR7 podcast. And make sure you guys go follow me on Twitch at Run the Great Podcast. And as always, Ryan the Great out. Peace.